Dual Universe is unique to me because of its community of players. The game was designed to give players as few directions as possible, but honestly, no one expected what we saw. It was all mind-blowing creations. I can admit it now, my greatest pleasure was following a random player, invisible, over his shoulder and discovering what he was doing in the game. I could spend hours doing that. It was never short of surprises. My favorite subject in the universe was voxel construction. I had to fight for months to get voxel modeling tools added into the game. There were always other priorities for the developer, unfortunately. I remember one time I discovered the player had invented voxel reactors. The first time the game design team and I came across them, it took us quite a while to understand what we were looking at. The ingenuity of the thing was far beyond what we had anticipated. Originally, the game was designed to allow players to stack 25 centimeters cubes, so when I first saw a skipjack chip, that tiny, ultra-optimized, very stylish single-seated speeder, I realized that the game had ceased to be ours a long time ago. The players were building the game, not us. The feature I would have loved to deliver, sub-core units, to let build a hierarchy of core units and the possibility to move and rotate them locally. And all this controlled with script, obviously. So just imagine the giant mechas in the game. I am asked how I would describe Dual Universe in 3 words. I would say bigger than expected. If I had 4 words, they would be much bigger than expected. I mean, we sure wanted to deliver something big, but the players made it huge. I guess this is it. So let's meet someday in another game, and thank you for the ride.
Well, hello. I hope you all liked that video from the team. Hello. Who's new here? Hello, Ryan Pride. Hello, TriCaster. That was something, I know. It isn't the end, it's a new beginning. Yes. Hello, Necro. The future of the game is in the hands of its community, TriCaster. The community will be carrying this game forward. Thank you, Mr. Idle. I appreciate that. Nyota and I worked hard on it. Let me hop on the call with Nyota and Deckard and say hello. Bonjour.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Is Nyota here too?
Maybe.
She's probably muted.
Am I here?
Yes.
You are. That was a great video. Glad my boss was not here yet, TubeStube. No worries. And if you missed it, if you want to watch it again or watch it later, don't worry. We will be Nyota muted again. We will be uploading it onto YouTube for everyone to see at their own time. So the plan here today is quite a loose one, freestyle as it were. This is, well, in all honesty, the last time we are able to log in to the Dual Universe live server. What I was hoping to do is walk around this ship show a little bit. Maybe, if possible, go to the VR network, go to a couple of the places we didn't go to yesterday, and just talk about the game, about our memories, about everything to do with it. And then when it comes time towards the end, what I would like to do is mute the microphone, mute the calls, turn off my camera, and just stream the game and let the ending of the game be broadcast on this channel, unfiltered or unpolluted by my face or voice. I hope that sounds good to everyone. Right. Let's get started. Deckard, Nyota, ooh, what's this? Snoopy. Do you have any ideas or things you want to do in this last hour and a half of the game?
I can probably answer a few of the questions that some of my teammates answered, which I sillily forgot to answer because we were working on the prep for today so hard that I saw everybody else's videos, but no, forgot to make them myself.
No worries.
Um, I'm gonna start immediately with like what three words I would use to describe DU. I think for me, the first word I would pick would be large. So I always feel like this game is just unendingly big. Like you can go anywhere. There are places on Alioth that I've never seen. It's just so silly big.
Mm.
My second word would be creativity, because just seeing what people make. And then my last word would be community, because that is genuinely what has made this game
Yeah.
in the years that I've played. For those of you who might not know what my role was in DU, I started on DU 5 years ago, um, just after the beta had started, and I initially joined the community team, and eventually became the live producer for Jewel Universe, where I would oversee schedule. For a large part, it was handling a lot of the bugs and issues and trying to get them fixed and resolved as quickly as possible, and the maintenance and safeguarding the state of DU as it was for as long as we possibly could, which we've done. Until yesterday, I broke something with the arc ship, I think, but we'll find out about that later.
No spoilers.
We'll find out if everything works.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine? No, that's not. Let's manifest everything working smoothly
Yes.
and perfectly. So that was your. So that's quite a journey from starting with community and well, where you are now. I'm sure you're underselling it, is what I would say. You've blood, sweat, and tears are in the code of this game. Incidentally, and Descartes tells me this is not real code, so it doesn't count. But I don't believe him. But I edited the subtitles for the voiceover in the FDUE, and I did that directly in the game engine, something to do with computers thing, and
Cloud stuff.
cloud stuff. Yes. So a line of code, and I'm calling it code that I wrote, is physically in the game, and it hasn't broken. What do you say about that, Descartes?
I mean, the fact that it didn't break is I mean, that's an achievement. It didn't crash and burn. I'm congratulating you, sir.
Thank you. Very cool. What are some of your I suppose for our colleagues it was a shorter time span, 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes each. But here we can talk at a little greater length. So you don't have to just pick one or two, but what are some of your we talked about this yesterday a little bit as well in terms of what are your favorite bugs. But what are some of your favorite development stories?
Oh, there is one I want to say bug that we had, which I will never forget. It
Mhm.
was so absurd that it was. I mean, for the players affected, it was definitely not a fun experience, and it was a
Okay.
real headache. However, for me as the live producer, when we launched into release, the first 5 minutes were the most chaotic I have ever experienced in my life, and when we found out why,
Oh,
we could only laugh about it. We could really only laugh about it. What ended up happening was we tested everything rigorously as much as we possibly could, except the one thing we hadn't checked apparently was what would happen for the FDUE for players who had Kickstarter backers and got their Kickstarter rewards started on their landers, and at the time the fireworks still had mass. What we didn't realize though was that we'd given all the Kickstarter backers 65 tons worth of fireworks, who promptly jumped into their landers, which I, by the way, wrote the Lua code for, which then
Nice.
started just dropping out of the sky as like little meteorites plowing into the ground and killing the new players onto the ground. I
And
I'll never forget that. That was one of those moments where I think there were about 10 of us in a meeting, literally observing this happening, trying to understand why this was happening before we realized that it was the fireworks. And it was a painful moment, but at the same time, it is a bug that I will fondly remember because there were multiple of us in tears with laughter about how stupid this mistake was. And then, of course, we went round to try and solve the issue for everybody. But it was for a few minutes. It's scarred in my mind, that moment.
left a mark on you.
Oh yes.
How
Yeah.
long? So what are we talking about here? Because I wasn't playing that day. I was doing the social comms and stuff. Are we talking like 20 minutes, half an hour, or
Oh, it took
several
us.
hours?
I promise you, it took us at least half an hour to figure out why it was happening. We were just watching them like drop out of the sky, and it's quite difficult to figure that kind of stuff out because when it happens, like the people that weren't alpha like Kickstarter backers didn't have the fireworks. They landed fine, so there were just like these odd instances of random people that would just explode onto the ground, and it was so obscure and random that the first thought was that it was something to do with the Lua. So I was digging into the Lua like crazy for like 15 to 20 minutes, seeing if we could hotfix it really, really quickly. And it ended up not being that. It's just that we didn't have enough brakes on the thing for the 65 tons. And we really, really quickly hotfixed and just removed the mass from all the fireworks. And after that, it was fine.
Nice.
But the first 5 to 10 minutes were utter carnage. It was really bad.
If I may interrupt for just a few seconds to say, Nyota, there seems to be a lot of goober in Drax's ships. Are you sure he's not trying to kidnap your cat?
He better not. He doesn't have access to Goober.
Oh,
yeah.
look at you.
But Goober takes a good picture.
She does. This is Goober, by the way, everyone. Nyota's cat.
A goober responds very well to the word treats.
Treats.
If you say treats enough,
Goober treats.
we will probably all hear her on stream.
No. Don't do it.
Bless her. My favorite fireworks story, and this involves you, Deckard.
No.
So, for those who don't know, through this game, Deckard and I have become friends, and this was what I would say around the time of our burgeoning friendship. I was a content creator for the game. I hadn't joined NQ yet, and we were, just talking from time to time, getting to know each other. And there was an event going on where it was New Year's, and what you had done for the content creators, Deckard, is you had created a Lua setup. You'd written code, you'd created packets, and just neatly packaged it so that anyone could understand how to create their own fireworks show with the fireworks that you gave to the content creators. And you spent, bless you, 2 hours? Like, you had no time getting ready for this event, and you were spending hours trying to get me to understand how to use the bloody Lua code. And I just can't get it. I still can't get it.
I still remember that. I think that was the first New Year's streamathon that we did.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be at the Institute. I'd created this enormous like fireworks display structure that was built in and around and using the shape of the Institute. So people could
Yes.
come to the Institutes, the content creator would go there and have control access of the programming board to launch all the fireworks with all these different sequences and like little time sequences and such.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, of course, it's the holidays and almost everybody in the office is out. And something with one of the constructs in the institutes caused what we call a black hole and just started disconnecting anybody that came anywhere close to it. So that was like awful. That was really bad because I then had to move that construct and adapt it
Ouch.
on the fly. And then I had to reposition it throughout the entire 24-hour live stream where I
Yes.
stayed awake, moving it along from A to B to C to D and constantly handing over the controls to another content creator and
Yeah.
adapting it for them. And then you were the last.
I
You
just
were the
couldn't
last
do
one.
it. I liked my solution though. What I did in the end is I set up the launchers, but instead of connecting it to a Lua code board, I connected it to pressure plates and I built a grand piano, and anyone on my stream could come and walk along the piano, press the pressure plates and launch so my community launched the fireworks show through the pressure plate piano. But fireworks were a great addition to this game. They really help bring events to life. But, and I remember NQ Squick shared this story, but didn't have time to put it in the video. He was watching Marquis Dragon's stream on the day of launch, and he just saw him go splat into the ground, blow up. And he's like, oh no, something's wrong. Bless. Cool. Any other bugs or funny quirks of technology to share?
Oh, I'm just reading the Twitch chat at the moment, and yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've never. Somebody wrote, and there was the time Decker thought his little ship was competitive against the monsters we all made in PvP.
Nice.
I have never been graced with a skill for PvP ever.
I
I'm
remember
always
that.
the one to die.
What was that? That was one of lethal build-off combat build-offs. And you built a
Yeah.
little agile ship to try and show, hey, you know, speed and agility are important too.
Yeah,
and
it's,
then
didn't
immediately
work.
died to bricks. Yeah.
I died so quickly. Yeah, I barely even could beat it at all.
That was fun. Thank you for coming to that. That was a lot of fun.
Does remind me of probably one of the most successful tests we ever run on the PTS servers, the public test server that we had for a while.
Yeah.
Was we did that PvP event where we put a station up and tried to defend the station, and then we showed up with
with the cheat shields.
Yeah, we buffed up the shields a little bit, and we tried to see how we would survive. And the funny thing is, we had to kind of buff it up a little bit because we had expected about like 50 to maybe 100 people to turn up.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure for the server was sort of scaled for that.
Yeah.
And I have to give props to the DevOps team who, throughout that event, painstakingly kept upgrading the hardware for the server, because we ended up with something close to 1,000 players that just came to beat on us.
Nice.
So they were continuously like, "Nope, we need a bigger database. Nope, we need more power, more CPU. Okay, we'll keep scaling this up." And then our
more
fun
power.
moments. Yeah, I remember like we had ships that were provided by the members of the community that submitted them.
Yeah.
And we used one of Drax's ships, the what's it called? It's here somewhere. I've seen it at the ship show. I've seen the black version of the ship show. The
Carizarius, buddy, no worries. This will be on YouTube later. You can watch it when toddler life is not eating your time. Although it's a worthwhile eating of time, I would say. So the Drax ship.
The Nautilus, that was it. And we sort of adapted it into an NQ combat variation. And I'm glad to report that none of NQ survived. Entropy took the helm of defending the station, and then there were a few other people that that sort of helped out on the ships, and it was chaos, but we had a lot of fun. there were so many NQ people involved on the back end just to try and shoot players. It
The
was the most
amount of
successful test.
nerfs, the amount of nerfs entropy has a reputation for being responsible for. I think it's a little bit of justice, blow entropy up. But yeah, I remember the radar incident too. You were there. So, for those who don't know, many NQ colleagues also actively played the game on the private accounts, and Nicodemus was one of those. And for the PvP event, where we took one of Captain Harlock's ships and turned it into a loot pinata, and we started flying in PvP space and saying, "Come find us." And our expectation was that we would have our PvP setup done properly. We had NQ people manning the guns, and we were caught eventually, but the radars weren't connected to the guns. And my suspicion was that NQ Nicodemus scuppered us so that we would die, and as a player came to kill us. That was fun. The next question, I suppose, if we're going to move down the list, or we don't have to talk about the list of questions. If you want to talk about other things, Descartes, it's were there any like mistakes, broken things, harebrained ideas, last minute? Oh, but what about kind of ideas that actually made it into the game or were close to being put into the game?
Oof. I mean, there were lots. I'm just trying to find a good example of one.
The entire game.
There were, I think one of the things that we received as an idea, turned around and implemented really quickly, which was actually a good success, I think, were the chair surfaces. That idea actually originated from Geo's stream at the time, because I remember sitting in a stream and watching him, and they were talking about, like, that they always had limited options of modeling the chairs and stuff, because you always were stuck with the chair asset
Yes.
would be there. And I remember bringing that back to Cyril, or Wintermute, who you heard earlier on the one of the videos, the lead game designer, and he came up with an idea for it really quickly. And I think it took us about 2 to 3 weeks to get it from being made from idea into the game. And I think it was a good success. It was a
Chair
simple
surfaces
thing,
are amazing.
but yeah, it fit the game perfectly as well. Just to allow people to create their own things. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. And do you have an example of a feature? Sorry, not a construct. This is a bad question. I'm sorry. It's gonna take a lot of thinking to get an answer. But when can you think of an example or construct, something that the players built in the game that you were thinking, wait, this is truly special? Things like Utopia Station or the big mega structures.
Where do I start?
Where do I start? The entire game.
Where do I start? Yeah. I mean, I'm partial to my own ship, right? That was given to me, the D19.
Descartes 19.
I love that thing. That is, I really have to give that has a special place in my heart also for the way it was given to me. But outside of that, oh god, there's so many things between all the large stuff. I love the bits that are built on Alioth, for example. Like something that forever holds a special place in my heart is the Space Needle at ODY, the IC spaceport, you name it. Like all these places that were built by the community are just fantastic. Just they're viewing galleries of amazing creativity, and I love all of that stuff. Like I wish we could stick all of that stuff into museums and keep it forever, but
me too. We didn't create it. The community created it, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I just seen Van Herk's message. The
Oh,
races, the races. I really wish we'd done more we'd been able to do more in terms
voxel
of
man.
tooling for the races, like a specific setting of scripts
Yeah.
and parts and elements to help with racing, because that races were one of um, those like community created, um, like very
Emergent gameplay.
emergent things. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
just wonderful. Yeah, they were wonderful.
And on that note of community emergent behavior, going, huh? What was an example of like a very unexpected behavior that you witnessed players do? And this could be someone trying to exploit or someone just breaking something in a weird way. What was the weirdest thing you saw a player do in DU?
Oh, I think the crown might have to go to Gaming Gothic,
Huh?
who flew to I think it was Gaming Gothic who flew to the tutorial planet and then started extracting went into tutorials and started extracting stuff from the tutorial planet to his other ship. That was a very creative way of doing things. Then we remedied that by just moving the tutorial planet really, 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 really far away.
So,
Yeah.
take it from the top. There's a separate planet called the tutorial planet that had
Yes.
resources to
Yes.
take through nefarious means if able, and Gaming Gothic
Yes.
was able.
Well, the tutorial planet is loaded locally for the player, so only the player that's in the tutorial will see that planet.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody else, if you're friends with that person, you can still see where they are in space and fly to them, but they'll be in space, but without the planet. So you can fly straight up next to this player that's on the tutorial planet and trade with them and grab resources and such like that from them.
Right.
Or link container to the ship that's just floating next to you while you're mining away on the tutorial planet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a exploit that I say exploit. It was unintended. Let's put it that way, and that was a very creative way of playing that resource extraction game.
Nice. Cool. Now, a lot of this question, I'm sure, has to do with language and the pressing of buttons. But what were some funny traditions in NQ that you remember fondly?
Traditions.
Or like quirks, funny
Oh,
things.
yeah, yeah. So I'm quite well known in NQ for working primarily with a lot of French people on DU, and
Mm-hmm.
not being French, much like yourself.
Indeed.
But the team I used to spend a lot of time with, was the server team to maintain the state of the live server. And whenever we do maintenances, I always have to give the go ahead to start and to stop and reopen the server. But I speak very, very little French, and over the years, my colleagues tried teaching me lots of French, and it ended up being the joke that every time the server would be ready to reopen, I would give the go ahead by saying the magical words and I would try and say them differently every single time just to keep it amusing. But I would say "appuyez sur les boutons," which means push the button, and that became a tradition sort of in Nova Cork. So now everybody tends to say whenever we restart, we'll usually get someone to go, can I appuyer sur les boutons? But I just made it, I don't know. That's a
Ma-
tradition that I brought, thank you.
and made it a thing.
Made it a thing, yeah.
Very cool. And
My
then,
broken French.
je parle un peu. What was your favorite memory of seeing players interact with a feature that you built or worked on?
I mean, I did really enjoy watching people do the PvE content and hearing feedback
Same.
from that, because I worked quite hard on making them the generation of the missions kind of as unique as possible between sessions,
Yes.
and seeing people run those missions and facing new challenges every time they'd go in, and having not the same experience on every mission, not be making it not too predictable. That was fun, and seeing. I love seeing people lose as well in there, because that meant that I'd done my job correctly.
Nice. Splotty is asking, talking of language, how many Frenglish words or weird constructions of French-English words have you personally found in the Dual Universe's code?
Inside the code, not too many. Inside our communication channels inside the company, there's quite a lot. There are quite a lot of them, but
Indeed.
actually, I have to say that the vast majority of the team at NQ, considering that they're not native speaking English, are very good English speakers.
Yes.
Even if they don't think so themselves, they are far better than I could have ever asked for.
And for the rest, there's Google Translate to help us.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you could have, we've answered this yesterday already, but hey, let's talk again. If you could have added just one more feature to the game, what would it have been?
I don't even know what I said yesterday.
Just say another one today.
Another feature
Or
that
Steel
is,
Cyrils. Giant moving mechs sound
I mean,
really freaking
yes.
cool.
Yes, like this is a feature that me and Cyril spoke about several times over, multiple times. We even played some other games together that had similar functionalities and features.
Well,
but yes.
first, let's define it. Can you talk through?
Yeah, so the idea was that you could have specific cores, so that you could make a separate construct that would anchor onto a. They were basically docked constructs that would never undock, so it would be a sub core, essentially, that you could fit onto a ship or a structure. And then the idea was that we could, using Lua, you could animate that core, so you could move it and rotate it in space inside that core. So you could make your own moving parts, sliding doors, stuff like that. That was the idea. Unfortunately, we never got around to making that, but it was high on our list of wanting to do it.
Very cool. Oh, DU Cupcake. Cool. Well, I think that's it for the set questions. Now, if anyone from chat, we are reading the chat, by the way. If you have questions or comments you want to share or ask, please do put them in. But specifically, if you have questions for NQ Deckard, NQ Nyota, or I, please just put them in the chat. But while we're asking people to have a think, Deckard... Oh! I remember this digger. I had one at my base of the pyramid. Sorry, I got distracted. Do you have anything else you want to share while we're here, Deckard?
Nothing at the moment. I need to go and have a sip of water before I start coughing a lot.
No worries. Cool. Nyota, be you here?
Am I ever not here? Hi.
Indeed. Hello, hello. Well,
Hello, how are you?
To echo the sentiment in chat, I am nostalgic and sad, but I'm happy that
Celebrate. Think of the good times.
Exactly.
Think about meeting. You wouldn't know all these people. You wouldn't know Deckard if it wasn't for Dual Universe, right?
Well, the thing with Deckard is, I have a feeling that the universe would have brought us together anyway.
How that universe works in mysterious ways, doesn't it?
But the way I'm thinking about it is, this is the last moments of DU, and we get to share them here together. I get to stream it to you all, and that's a privilege and an honor. So I'm happy to be here, though sad at the reason why.
I understand. I get it. I know that there's you guys know I'm around. I'm talking to people all the time here,
Mm.
and I know there's a lot of sad faces, and there might be a few tears. Some admit it, some do not.
Yes. Wow.
And so, but it's all near and dear to our hearts. But even though it's sad for the passing of the MMO server,
Mhm.
when you think about it, you can still play.
Yeah. My
Line of
DU is there.
my DU is there, and you can still create and join up with everybody and play and just have a good time. It might not be this server, but hey, it's still there.
Yeah. And like the movement from the beta to the alpha, the the game is still there. It's just in a different shape now, and the community and the constructs that we were used to on this server are gone, but they are finding new life elsewhere. The game was one that filled many hours of my life over the past 5 years. His jury is out. Sad to see it go, but all great things do come to an end, and hopefully my DU and possibly Open DU will take the dream to greater places. Appreciate NQ that brought dreams to life and made a game that most thought would be impossible. Oh 07, jury is out. Thank you, buddy. Oh 07.
Uh, Top trick, Angry Dad is still going to be continuing the Dome, but on the MyDU servers, from what I hear.
Very cool.
The
So
Dome
that-
is not ending, guys.
I can have the honor potentially of never having gone into the dome while the MMO servers were live, and then finally going to die on a private server.
I
That'd
have
be
a
very
question for. I'll have some questions for Shamsi here in a second,
Mhm.
but I have a question for everybody, the over 100 people with us today. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I might be a little tired, so I might babble a little bit, but
All good.
the question I have for the people watching, I know there's old players and new players, and I'm not talking about age. What was your favorite event in the game? You don't have to say, oh, the goober hunt, unless it's true. But from beta, from alpha, from
Say the
live.
Goober Hunt.
Yeah, you can say the goober hunt. I won't cry. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite events?
So what were
Yeah,
some of your
I mean, I
favorite
knew that was coming.
Thormund events?
I
Yeah.
predicted that gaming Gothic.
Of course, the Goober Hunt, says jury is out.
So Jury is out is now the king of bingo. He's got a new
Yes.
title. If anybody has seen him, he's got a very unique title, and it's much deserved.
Yeah.
Dude applied himself to the goober hunt. I
Nice.
hats off to him.
Someone says the astrophage, we camped that thing for 3 days. The great hunt of Thoramin. The first fly-in, says Leafall. Launch day. You like the massive player meetups. Also the Halloween events are some of Top Trick's favorites.
Oh,
Going
that's awesome.
splat.
I love hearing it. I
Me
have
too.
forgotten some of the events even that I put on, like the tours and everything like that. So it feels like a little memory game here.
Mhm. Cool. Well, do you want me to ask you questions first, or do you want to start?
Do you want me to ask you those same questions, or what
Oh.
do you want me to ask you? I can ask
That
you.
or-
It's your turn. It's your turn.
Okay, it's my turn. Cool. Well, that or any other questions you like, ask me anything. AMA session with Shamsi.
So somebody mentioned to me recently. I don't know if it was yesterday. Yesterday's kind of a blur. But somebody was talking about the alien invasion and the story around it. So
Mhm.
I know you were integral to it. Tell
Mhm.
us how you developed that.
Ooh, that's a good question. At its heart, a story is characters in a setting experiencing a conflict. And when I inherited the narrative of this game, it was well intentioned, but it was very, how would I say, engineer led, is how it was described to me, and that's correct. The work that was there already was excellent with the xenoarchaeological sites, with the events releasing space resource points, and obviously whenever we find something new and shiny, we're going to fight over it. And that player-led emergent gameplay was very cool. And so my priority when I took over was to create a cast of characters, not necessarily hero ships that are quite a big deal in speculative fiction, science fiction, but at least a cast of characters that could tell the story through, in effect, press releases to the community. So I created as a Dr. Akina Eldon, Admiral Magnus, a bunch of other characters that were ancillary that we didn't have time in the end to add in, and built a flow for the event. Deckard and the team had built this amazing PvP system, and through it we allowed players to uncover a story, and in that story I crammed in as many links to different things in different places as possible. For instance, the hint that the astrophage has UEF material signatures inside itself. So we are not the first Ark ship that it encountered. The fact that the radiation in the solar system, in Helios, that was holding the astrophage back seemed to be emanating from Thades. The fact that Ophelia was expending ever greater amounts of energy to run the resurrection network because of interference and other things. So I wove in a whole bunch of threads for storylines that were going to move forward. And as I mentioned yesterday, the next step along that journey was going to be the Cortide planet. We would go through the Yanis Gate after finally unlocking it after an event, and we would find a self-contained bubble of space-time in which there would have been a unique planet that erupts and liquefies and resolidifies in cycles to allow meganode mining potentially to come back to the game. And so yeah, I just took it to basics. My teacher, Dave Wolverton, the systems he taught me, how to create characters, what characters you need, how to create plot lines, storylines, how to do try-fail cycles so the victory feels earned and worthwhile. And unfortunately, I had great plans for that story. Potentially we'll release them one day, but I had to take my hands off that dish quite early and go cook something else on other projects.
Sorry about that. I
No
might
worries.
have been muted.
No worries.
TM, I guess it's one of my styles here, but yeah, I know from the player perspective. I remember actually playing as well and listening in game. Um, People talking about it and getting the point system going and the story and wanting the next chapter. So, kudos to you for having such a integrating something so rich for Dual Universe.
Thank you. And there was solid foundations. The game, without NPCs to begin with, without the types of narrative foundations that could be built on to expand into something major, the game had all of the components there. It just took a bit of assembling. And if people enjoyed the story and want to hear more, I am very happy and glad to have been able to create it for them.
Well, I know that they enjoyed it, so I know this for a fact. So I'm not gonna read down all those questions
Sure.
that you asked Deckard, but because I'm more organic than that.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask you those 3 words. How would you
Okay.
describe DU in 3 words?
I don't know why I have nothing prepared. I should have thought to need to answer this question. I might distract myself by reading chat, but no, I'm kidding. Hi, Mika Mia. The game is. Can I have 3 phrases instead? Is that
no.
okay? No. Okay.
No, your 3 words can make a phrase because I know what I'm
Sure.
going to say, but no, you
Freedom.
cannot.
Number
3 words.
number
Okay.
one word is freedom. Specifically before update 0.23, and then after a while that was more or less recovered. But the first thing about this game that struck me, what really grabbed me, other than the frame rates, if anyone remembers at the start of beta, there was one screen in the initial loading area that tanked our frame rates. I somehow made it out of the starting area, and when I got to Haven, I was able to play. The frame rates were playable, and I could mine rocks. I could build my own industry. I had to build my own ship. When you build your own ship, you would take off into space, or in my case, I gathered everything I owned. Literally the collection of 2 days of constant playing. Like maybe I would say about 17, 18 hours a day for 2 days. Not much sleep. Gathered everything I have, put it into the nascent form of the Zambarak, just a very functional element ship. And I was gonna fly from Haven, from the tutorial moon, to Alioth to claim my real tile. And I came in a little too hot, and with everything that I owned in the game on one ship, I crashed it onto the planet and blew up. So I had to go there, recover it, claim my tile by the Lake of Enlightenment, build my pyramid, build my factory, start making guides. I could fly, I could fight, I could build, I could trade, I could explore. Anything that I wanted to do in the game was open to me. Nothing was gate kept. Nothing was, well, you need this or that to achieve whatever. Sure, the best quality elements were gated behind, resources, or some of the best performing weapons or whatever were gated behind talents. But Leafall, I didn't know you could Alt F4 to prevent the crash. I face planted straight into the Alioth. But the first word is freedom. Anything you wanted to do, maybe you couldn't do it to 80% of the effectiveness of someone who had the talents and the resources, but you could get 75, 80% of the way there, and you could compete. So number one was freedom. Number two is creativity. I could build whatever I wanted, and it turns out I had a huge hankering for building pyramids, sphinxes, scorpions, and ancient Egyptian things. And I play Necrons in Warhammer. The ability to build what I wanted, the creativity would be word number two. Word number three, and by far the most important word for me, is community. The first time I ran a build-off, a Great Novian build-off, I think there was Longboy, Kermit, and Astron competed in the first week. And I basically ran a live competition where I gave players sets of elements and voxels and restrictions and said, build whatever you want, you have an hour. And off they went. And then we flew the ships, we tested the ships, we crashed in a lot of them. Then Briganti, Leafall, all these people around the game came together and built the market, the East Alioth Trading Company market. I remember Leafall Cinema. I remember the arena Briganti built me, the theater. We built an outdoor theater for putting on plays and theatrical productions. We had Migameo's Cantina had an outlet there. There was everyone's creativity melded together in a pseudo-psychic meld. With one mind, we built amazing things together. And that is a feeling I can't describe properly with words. Words are failing me right now. It's just a rush of endorphins.
So wait, you're saying this is a dual universe mind meld? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, had to make a reference there.
Freedom, creativity, and community are my three words.
freedom, creativity, what? Wait, and what?
Community.
Community. Why did I miss that word? Yeah, hi.
It's your job.
So since since you know, you've been around Dual Universe for quite a long time, what was
Mhm.
one of your favorite events? Whether you had something to do with it or not, it's okay.
Mm. So I was invited to a PvP event, and if anyone knows anything about me, that is way out of my comfort zone. And so I was trying to figure out how to layer gold armor and gold voxels. I was never a rich player. Everything I built I gave away for free. The only income really I had was sometimes people would leave donations, and if I found a mega node and mined it, things like that. So gold honeycomb and all of the things that I bought were important to me. They were very expensive, and on stream, I prepared for it, and chat were trying to teach me live how to layer armor properly, how to leave gaps, how to make the shapes. So I built a giant golden pyramid with guns. This was before shields, so the armor was the only defense I had. I went out in a PvP event and yeah, was promptly blown up by cannons. So I had railguns. I was trying to kite but failed and got caught and killed up close, shivved with cannons. That's the first one that popped into my mind. But honestly, Neota, I have to say, the entire game, there was just player-made event after ship show, after PvP event, after mega node mining sessions, after asteroid hunting. So just the Friday nights, watching the streams at the Dome. Marquis and his community, Geo and his and Magic and the team at Morning Brew, everything is special to me. The whole being left by the live servers going down is huge. But the one event that I remember that you mentioned, it wasn't one of my own. It was a PvP event I was invited to, and offshoot of that, favorite, almost equally favorite, is when I went as a war correspondent to free the siege of Talamai, along with a ship of belter loaders, and I saw PvP up close and personal, and it was exhilarating, Neota. It was exhilarating.
That sounds awesome. I wasn't there for that one. Yeah, I mean, you know, the word that keeps on coming up and it right to my heart is community. Everybody's talking about that.
Yeah.
And while, you know, the creativity is there, I agree with your words, quite honestly. They're not the same words that I'm going to use, but when you ask me, because you will ask me, right?
Yes.
It's definitely, you can see people are tearing up. They're tearing up. Don't tear. So let's celebrate. Celebrate. It's not the end. It's the end of the MMO server, but not the end of DU. DU continues, and it's in the hearts of all of us, right?
In the hands of all of us. Yeah.
And the hearts. It's the
And the
heart,
hearts.
man. Yeah. So I'm still on the mind meld, dual universe mind meld. I wish I had an event that was named that. You guys carry on with that, please. So, to continue drilling you with questions, so what would you have liked to add to DU if you could? Anything.
Well, part of the wider overall story that links back to the AI and Earth and the reason we left in the first place. I need to be careful what I say, really. I don't want to A, spoil things, and B, say things out of turn. But there was a whole plot line being readied for the expansion of the game into new intellectual areas. And part of that was going to involve interacting or interfacing with, through story to begin with, and then through player interactions, other arc ships other communities of survivors with other flavors of technology, and sort of. Now, there was an old science fiction trope in, I think it was Arthur C. Clarke, a friend of mine, Jon Henry Holberg, sci-fi translator from Sweden, uh, told me about this. Arthur C. Clarke wrote a story about aliens finding a ragtag group of refugees in space who had no hope of survival, and they took pity on them and they helped them to a planet to survive. And he couldn't sell the story because humanity was shown in the light that it was. And then he added one line to the end, where at the end of the short story, the aliens were laughing at humanity. And the ending line was, they wouldn't be laughing 100 years from now. And there's I mean, it's always been there, something called HFY in modern freaking AI-driven drivel on YouTube. But the idea of celebrating strength, ability, intelligence, capability of humanity in the face of an uncaring and brutally dangerous cosmos was a trope in science fiction. And I wanted to some extent, explore that. Are we really just a group of ragtag refugees? Let's explore what happened to the homeworld and that sort of thing. And if there was one thing I could have added to the game, it would have been the systems required to create the PvE missions to start going down that road, interfacing with other arc ships and introducing technology, weapons, shields, engines, variants that would potentially be completely alien to the Ophelia-led surviving community.
I think that was terribly well said. I'm glad you're more awake than I am today.
No worries.
So, what is your favorite planet? I don't remember you answering that yesterday.
Thady. I mean, Alioth has to be my favorite because that's where I spent the vast majority of my game. I hold the record for murdering the most people within the safe zone of Alioth in the game.
I have a question then, and this applies to our wonderful host here, as well as everybody. Why Alioth?
Because I share my name with it, Ali. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But why? I always wondered this. I don't think there's a real answer, but I have to ask these questions.
It's the pale blue dot, Nyota. It's the pale blue dot.
Is it because it's closest? Is it because it's the scenery? What is the attraction to Alioth? I wondered that as a new player. Why is everything on Alioth? Was there a reason for that? Was there mega nodes back in the day on Alioth?
They were everywhere. It was just easy. Remember before the exchange, the hub of trade in the game was a player-designated market on Alioth. That's the market that had everything. That was the economic heart of the game. So things would have to be transported here to sell. And if you needed to buy resources, this is where you would come to buy it.
Was historically, was it like, I don't know, at launch, let's say beta and alpha, was Alioth the first planet everybody...
So you would load into Haven, which was the tutorial moon, and from Haven you could take a shuttle straight to Alioth, or you would build your own spaceship, and Haven was a moon of Alioth. This is the closest significant, I mean, there it is up there. This is the closest significant astronomical body, and therefore it's where the arc ship is. It just feels like the capital. And also, it's our pale blue dot. It's
our pale blue
cranial.
dot. That's the best explanation.
What do other people think? It's Earth-like, says it's round is why.
Yeah.
Jago was very pretty, I agree. Shuttle from Haven Sanctuary. Yeah. It still is.
It just, sorry, random questions. I do this.
So Leafall says it well here. After getting all your ore from your tile on Sanctuary, your next step was Alioth to get more resources. So it was an economic driver as
And
well.
and does that get connected with Market 6 that I found out really quickly that was the market, the to-go market, we'll say.
Indeed. Yes, Market 6. I don't know how Market 6 became the designated market, but it became. Geese night play, Alioth is not flat, sir. I can prove it to you. Your favorite was Haven because it was free. And then also remember, way back in the day, there were no limitations. There was no territory taxes. There was no, once you claimed a piece of the planet, it was yours. And you could build whatever you want with it. And Jago and Talamai, these were all very exciting and exotic. But if you were like me, a Care Bear, and you didn't want to shoot people and you didn't want to get shot, inside the safe zone, Alioth was the main planet, and you had two other options, which, if I recall, were also very populated. But it would take you a while, like an hour, to get to Market 6 to sell your stuff from Madis or Thades. Hagbard, stop talking about Market 13, sir. Market 13 is where the, let me be careful with my words so as not to offend, was where my enemies lived. Let's put it that way. I'm joking.
Your frenemies, not enemies.
No,
frenemies.
my friends. We were all friends. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I love hearing those. I wasn't here for those, but I love hearing the historical content of why everybody gravitated to certain markets, and why everybody built on Alioth. So.
Market 13 for the win, says Crop. Hi, Crop, by the way. Yeah, it was the default world.
Yeah, exactly. It's just interesting, especially because compared to all of you, I still feel like a new player, even though my version of playing Noobville, which you remember, was feels like an eternity ago. But you guys all started before I did, so it's interesting. I always like figuring out, why players do certain things.
Meager
So-
Major, you, in my brain, Meager Major, you are no longer a Market 13 denizen. You belonged with us at the Lake of Enlightenment. Nyota, we were the enlightened by the lake, and the
Enlightened.
unenlightened lived
So
in
did
Market
you-
13.
Did you just tell Meager Mayo that you're one of us? I have to
He-
say that in that kind of voice.
He became one of us through choice, and now you can't back out, Meager Mayo. And by one of us, I mean, Nyota, the community of people that lived together around the lake that I based my pyramids on.
Yeah.
To funny note about Market 6 is the fact that on our development servers, Market 6 was also the chosen place where all the development actually happened on the level design server. I'm not sure why that panned out that way, but there was something about Market 6, I guess, that just drew people in.
Very cool.
I think I asked you that, Deckard, way back when. I was like, what? Why is everything surrounded around Market 6? And it just became a thing. I secretly thought that in my own sad brain is that it was some kind of magnet inside and it attracted people there and you couldn't get away. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
to
guys.
begin with, the Institute had a... What was that Lua screen, Deckard, that at the beginning of beta, you were basically watching a slideshow when you loaded into the game?
That was you mean the old tutorial?
Yes, when I first started playing it.
Yeah, that was still in trying to think, because we used to have a building that you started in, and you would go through the building. And I remember there was a there was a long version of the tutorial you could do, and a short version of the tutorial. That's one of the things I still remember. And the short one was 20 minutes. The long one was like an hour.
Yeah.
I remember us going, yeah, we need to make this better, and then we did the FTV to what it is today.
Very cool.
I
was
just
just-
want to.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I think we're on the same wavelength there. I bet. I just saw a message in game about Lasersmith, who does the news channel. We'll say, And it said 43 minutes until probably 40 now, 39 until the closure of the server. Just wanted to shout out real quick before I forget. We're going to take a group photo over by Cappuccinos in the Ark ship. If anybody wants to join us for that group photo, we're going to be doing that pretty soon.
Cool.
Sorry, was that what you were going to say, Deckard?
That was not what I was going to say, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to answer a question from Arlith in chat, who asked earlier about further about Thoramine and what the end of the story of the Thoramine was going to be. That never ended up being. I have to honestly admit that I don't know 100% for sure, as I, at the time, also wanted to figure out what it was and was enjoying the puzzle like everybody else and did not read into the spoilers that we had on our internal stuff. I kept myself isolated from that, the development of that feature and that storyline for that reason. But I believe, if I recall correctly, the end result of that was supposed to lead to another solar system. That was the idea, I think, if I recall correctly. But I am for sure, me and Berkelor are going to try and get a hold of JC, and we'll see if we can get a definitive answer for you at a later stage.
Very cool. Thank you. Well, Nyota, what was your favorite event?
But there were so many of them. Favorite event? That's a good question. I have to think about it. I think I'm gonna have to group them all together. I love the tours. The tours were really unique. I think the Stalwart tour, where we made it into a scavenger hunt at the same time, I laughed really, really hard. When people were dropping out of the ship so that they can be the first to find the missing piece, and everything. We had a blast. I know I was talking with Electron. Maybe Deckard was involved too at the moment. I can't remember, but we had an absolute blast. I will say one little thing that when I joined NQ and it was one of the first events for the opening of the exchange.
Yeah.
It was the most eye-opening, unique event that I could have ever expected. Because I have never seen such well-behaved players ever.
Really?
Yeah. So Deckard, you were involved, but you went AFK. Nobody knows that, but now they do. Uh, I don't even know if Deckard remembers at this point, but so we were opening the exchange and all of that great stuff. Had an event. It worked out great. Nicodemus was there and everything, and so was Deckard. And then we were like, oh, we're going to do a screenshot and have a picture with Deckard. And he sat on a throne in somewhere, I think on the second floor or something in the exchange. I honestly, you guys probably still have those pictures, but anyways. And I told everybody, line up here to have your photo taken with Deckard. And Deckard goes AFK. And you guys all stood in a straight line, just waiting patiently. Nobody jumped ahead. Everybody was patient. Thank you, thank you. And I was just like, what realm have I joined here? It was awesome.
It doesn't feel like
I
the internet, does it?
I do remember this because I remember coming back to my computer and you're like, why is everybody standing in a neat line next to me?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I couldn't figure it
Like,
out
it was
at all.
so absurd.
I could not figure it out. I was like, this does not compute. I'm like, what? Are we in a game? What? Yeah, it was great. Thank you guys for that memory. I'm never gonna forget that one.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're good. I'm glad. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, I loved it. I mean, I know. Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. So I know when I started doing events for NQ and for Dual Universe, I got a little bit of flack because some people were like, no, this is our sandbox. You're not allowed to do that. But I hope over time that I managed to get people involved with them and have fun with them and enjoy bringing everybody together since I have a louder voice sometimes than most. So
I'm
every
glad
once
you
in a
were
while.
able to. And do you have a favorite episode or favorite interaction with Askophilia, our joint project that we, gosh, do you remember?
Askophilia, I forgot about Askophilia.
Oh, we did that for
Um,
so long.
eh, we had a lot of fun with that. I think for me, just on a personal note, I think one of the funny parts was the comments. I think after the first or second episode that people were talking about how I should change my voice should be Ophelia's voice instead of
Ah,
Ophelia's voice.
ah,
I
nice.
found that I find that very amusing. I'm like I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I think it is. I think it is.
But yeah, I think you know what I enjoyed most. Askophilia was difficult because people wanted the difficult questions answered. That
Mm.
some of them we still can't answer, right?
We did our best.
We did our best, and it's tracking people down at the last minute, getting the answers that you guys sought out, seeked. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, my words. Uh, sought out. Working with Lazius
Yeah.
on getting numbers. Oh gosh, that was hilarious.
I don't want to. I don't want to out you or give away your
Out me.
age.
Oh, damn.
My
Oh,
I used to joke that your career was my childhood.
damn
you,
it.
you played the games I loved playing. With your, let's say, sizable experience in the
Oh,
industry,
damn it. Okay,
I'm.
make me feel ancient. Okay, thanks.
Oh no, it's a good question. I
He's
want
so
to know.
subtle.
I
That
want
was
to
subtle,
know.
yeah. Ow.
I want to know, Nyota. To me, this community never felt like the internet. It felt very different. And you talked about the exchange here. This was a very well-behaved group of players. What? How is this community different to the others you've encountered in your career to date? And you've encountered many careers in your career to date.
I've encountered many careers in my career. That's kind of cool, yeah. I like it. I think
Many
it's gonna be
communities,
my-
sorry, many
Yeah,
communities.
no, that's gonna be my new tagline for finding a new job.
Hire Nyota.
Looking for work tag is up. But anyways,
How is
so,
this community different to the rest that you've encountered in your career?
I think I have pondered this because I have pondered that whole experience at the exchange that happened, and I still can't figure it out, guys. I thank you all for it, but I still can't figure it out. I think the thing about Dual Universe, it attracts a lot of creatives, whether you are PvPer, whether you're a builder, the creative
Yeah.
spark, I'm gonna call it the spark, is there, and the extreme intelligence of you guys is incredible. Figuring stuff out,
Mhm.
pushing the limits of usually people push the limits on how to cheat. I'm not saying that you guys are all innocent. No. But it's more about pushing the limits on, well, if this, I wonder if this Lua code will work, and thinking outside the box. There is no box in this sandbox. And I think that pushes the extreme of the players as a community together. And I think it just pushes it at a completely different than the communities that I've worked for before.
This is
Yeah.
human creativity, human innovation. Top Trick says this was never a dog eat dog type environment. It was always supportive from the bottom
And the
to the top.
welcoming of new players, the welcoming,
Yeah.
the just, I mean, it floors me. I understand in the game there's a lot of resources and there's a lot of money, quanta. There's some quanta out there, and whatever. But in the times, the many times that I was playing late night and everything like that, I would say the somebody gets stuck, they need a rescue, they
Mm.
need help, they need quanta, they're new. Sometimes it's almost overwhelming. I've been that noob, and sometimes it's like you have no idea what you're doing. So when people are throwing stuff at you, you're just like, what do I do with this? I don't know. Here's a ship. Okay, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I appreciate that so much. We need to start getting the festivities rolling. I just saw
Sure.
a lovely ship crash on the stream. Um, I
The
have a feeling
Millennium
I might
Falcon.
be seeing a few ships crash here soon. I'm not
Mhm.
promoting that, guys. Just saying I probably will
Where
see it anyway.
where should I stand for the picture? Where?
Probably where you kind of are. I think that's a great place, right by the. I'll take down that sign, or Deckard will if he's in there
The,
right now. So probably right around there.
yeah.
Face the cappuccinos, and we'll take a shot with the thing, and we'll. Who's putting all these thrones down? What the heck? But so I will. I'm going to finish this. So it's not about me, guys. It's about you guys.
Mm.
The one thing that I will say, and if kudos to anybody that knows, was a friend of mine who passed away last year. He was in a very big rock band, and I will just say three words: you kick ass. And if anybody gets that, kudos. See me. We can be friends. There you go. Thank you, guys.
Much love to everyone. Right. I guess it's almost time. Let me know when the festivities begin. I'll turn off my camera, mute the stream, and let the game run, and show the end of the server live. Festivities, Grevlane, yes. This is a celebration. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is. The game ends with tacos. Makes sense, Bloody. Makes sense. Hello, Gio. So from the quietness on the comms, I'm deducing Nyota and Deckard that you two are busy on the back end.
Yeah, doing a few things, teleporting a few people, bringing some people over.
Yeah, just getting people here, so the people that are stuck, the people that are, still incoming, flying over here and stuff. So, a party over at the Ark ship, everybody. And if you need fireworks, let me know. I'm happy to, but you have to be in front of the container. You need them. It'll make things easier. I'm a little tired this morning, so a little help here. But I'm happy to pass out some fireworks.
If anybody happens to want to teleport over to the cappuccinos, feel free to let Deckard know either just in game in general chat, and I will teleport you over.
Standing
Whenever
here.
needs a teleport, I might as well just say it while we're being quiet. Leniver needs a teleport.
Okay.
Anyone else need to teleport? Just ping in Twitch chat. So sad I have to go pick up your kids from school. Lol, Top Trick, don't be sad. That's an amazing thing to do, even though you have to do it every day. It's still an amazing thing to be able to do. I hope you have a great school run. And this will all be on YouTube, buddy. Don't worry. You'll see it all happen. Tube, you're here with us in spirit. Zarkata Borg is trying to break in time not to blow up on arrival. Geo's 11 kilometers away, so nearly here. Mega Meyer says, I don't have a speaking slot, so over here. Thank you all for the amazing time. For me, especially you came in your darkest time of life and gave you light when it came the darkness came close to eating me up. I also got amazing support from NQ when I held your suicide awareness streams, for which I will forever be grateful. Hope to see you all in another universe. Mega Mayo, much love, buddy. Much love. Zarka is gonna, yeah.
Public service announcement. I will be moving ships for the group photo. I know everybody loves to show off their ships. If you don't want me moving them, you might want to move them, and please don't move them out because I want to have a nice screenshot with the Ark ship in the background without ships right there in front of it. I get it,
Oh
but
dear.
for the screenshot, please.
Oh dear. Ships are gonna start disappearing. Can we at least leave the biplane? No, I'm kidding. I'm standing here next to Kestrel PC, who was in every single stream I ever did. He was there from the start. Who else is here? Coolies, Gothic, Care Bears, Raytheal. Gosh. Last time I did this, everyone, I was a Blackguard of Nagarond in the Inevitable City. Watching Warhammer Age of Reckoning go down. You'll move the ship when you're doing the screen. No worries. Arp ship drops like a New Year ball. You want to fly off into the sunset in the end, Damien. There's a Snoopy. If you want your ships to be here with us in spirit, if you move them to the other side of the Cappuccino, we'll see them as we're taking the screenshot. But the screenshot will be clear. Mais salute. The cafe. Unrelated news. Friday night races and Dome starts in Settlers in a couple of weeks, Grevlane. Glad to hear it, buddy. I'm glad to hear it. Settlers, if anyone here plays in or runs a DU private server, list them here in the chat. I'll read them out. The first one mentioned here is the Settler server. Hello, Kranus. That is going to have the Friday night Dome races. Hello, NQ Squick. Good to see you. Welcome. Deckard's blowing our minds and moving the ARP ship behind the shot. Nice. Rothgar, hello. We love this game. Good luck in the future. Stubby, thank you, buddy. We love this game too. Today we say goodbye to DU, a world that gave us memories, friendships, and dreams written among the stars. Even if this chapter ends, our journey is not over. We will meet again, united in another universe, the universe of my DU. I'm having everyone come to the Settlers server, says Damien. Kestrel says the Settlers, the third verse, and IC servers. Zarkata, I agree, this was one of the best games ever. Snake, much love to you too, buddy. Hope to see you on my DU. Lone Dart the Ark ship straight down, says Grevlane. Thud. The third verse is where a lot of the DU creators play, says Hagbard. Tube says, I play on the third verse, the island, and Settlers. And for those of us that weren't in Alpha, we can finally see the inside of the Ark ship, Warren 1MD. No spoilers, but hang around. I play on third verse, says Sharkat. Very cool. Evenius, dancing away. Thank you for being here with us, buddy. Take care. Feel the urge to maneuver a ship upside down over the people there. Van Herk, resist the urge. Deny the intrusive voice. And the island, says Kestrel. Playing on the third verse, says Leniver. Developing for the third verse to focus on quality of life features. We have already a lot of them, Leniver says. Awesome. See you on the racetrack on Settlers. Ooh, the voxel there is glitching. I look up. Don't want a voxel glitch to be the last thing I there. Hang on. There we go.
Oh, I have an answer for Arlif's question regarding the Thoramine.
Yeah.
The thoramine was meant to be the key component to produce the stargates to go to other solar systems.
Very cool. Very cool. You know, it is possible for us to gather the incarnations of the story and create like a snapshot to hand over to the community. We'll have a chat about that. That's what we thought, says Arilith. Coolies is asking about the DU soundtrack. Do you know of any plans to release it to the community, Deckard, or is that not on the radar right now?
Not on the radar right now. We did release it was part of the Kickstarter, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able to get a hold of it through some of the Kickstarter people that will have
it. Right. I guess pirate. Yeah. You want your T-shirts, says Agbar? I thought they were sent out. I have it, says Euvenius, and okay. Then go to Euvenius. At least it looks. Do you have any news regarding OpenDU? Nothing to share, unfortunately. Okay, so what I like is that all the MyDU servers have gone in slightly different directions, which allows players to choose a server depending on what they enjoy. Very cool. Deckard is lowering the Ark ship slowly. Let's have a look.
I'm not at the moment. I'm doing several other things at the same time.
Nice.
Teleporting.
I'm leveling up bug spots.
Nice. Chorus NQ is working on our other projects. The one that has been announced. It's called The Age of Barrett, an action RPG set in and based on ancient Indian epics. We would love to have some NQ joining us on MyDU as players, see what we have achieved, Lenover. Absolutely, I'm sure our colleagues would love to come and see. Arilith says F yes. Oh, Coolies is after a Cat Perchino t-shirt, Nyota. The door singing the end, but it's not the end, Grevlane. It's a new beginning.
Don't give me any ideas. I would love to have a Cappuccino's t-shirt or make those bags that we have for the Goober Hunt. Yeah.
Let's do it. Settlers has a YouTube trailer we'd love to share. I think isn't there a space on the Discord to share servers or creations
yes,
and things?
there is.
Then absolutely, Lunar Skill. Go ahead and share that on the Discord. And that's very cool. You made a YouTube trailer. A loop. And a graceful landing. That was very cool. Van Herk. Oh, I'm recording? Why am I recording? Because I hit Alt F9. Recording saved from NVIDIA Broadcaster. I pressed Alt F9 instead of Control F9 to remove my UI. You can transport blueprints to any other MyDU server. Then it... The Cat Pacino logo is totally embroidery friendly, says Lazius. Oh. The plot advances, Nyota. We have one person on the Cat Pacino. R55BNN. You legend.
I'm working on staying in the game so I can be part of this screenshot, but yeah.
No worries. Well, it is an honor to be able to be a part of this.
Van Herk, if you haven't moved your automobile, can you move your automobile, please?
Automobile. Oh. Nice. That little tiny UFO ship has escaped Nyota's glare till now.
Whenever I stop bug spotting, it will not escape anything, but yeah.
all gonna take your suits off, get out in the stinky style. You know, Grevlane, that's an interesting thing. One of the challenges, emotional engagement wise, which was to some extent alleviated with the outfits for your spacesuit. But one thing we have in common as an audience with, you know, a Greek soldier and a horse entering Troy to an Imperial Guard fighting on Cadia or whatever, from the far past to the far future, the one thing we will all have in common is our bodies, our fingers, our eyes, our senses, our toes. And so one of the easiest ways to build an emotional bridge between the audience today and the fictional world that you want to engage them in is to use the human body as a vector for that emotional connection. And so since we are all spacesuits, that was slightly more difficult. But as you can see, with a slight reveal that we are all meat bags underneath all this metal. Is the coffee shop blueprint going to be in the zip file? Nyota asks.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful.
Sure will.
And a selfish, greedy, personal question. You got the form submissions for the Zambaraks as well?
I do.
Wonderful. The Zambaraks are going to be in the zip. They will live on. 13 minutes to go. Just let me know when things are we looking on time, or is it looking like it might be pushed back a few minutes?
I think we're on time.
Okay. So
So,
once we've taken...
even though I'm not able to, sorry for interrupting, even if I'm not able to stay in game at the moment, please everybody to the cappuccinos over at the Arc Chip for the screenshot. Look at the cappuccinos in all of its glory and drool about the coffee and the goodies inside. And we're going to be taking some screenshots around this area.
Okay.
And please, everybody, do the same. If you get the chance, share them. I'm happy to see them. They're part of my memories. For those that were not here yesterday, NQ Nyota ends on Friday. So I would love to keep these memories.
Wonderful. And once the screenshots are taken, I'm gonna mute and turn off my camera and let the raw experience of the ending be recorded for everyone who wasn't able to make it here in person or on stream. Fireworks are indeed cool. Are we ready for launch, Grevlane? You think the Arc ship will launch? DJ Stevens, hello. Chorus, I'm very happy to be able to get that. I mean, I would have sent it to you anyway. But I'm happy it'll join the zip. Sir Frank, thank you, buddy. Dual Universe 2 when? DU2, what would we call it if it was Dual Universe Part 2? You're in the pipe, 5x5, bro. Don't we have a dance mode? I thought only some people were allowed to dance in the game, Deckard, if I'm correct. Triple Universe. It'd be a three-body problem. Grevlin says, I know I'm sarcastic much of the time, but I'm happy to have found DU and all of you, and I'm thankful for my DU. Grevlin, thank you, buddy. We're thankful for you. Oh, who's dancing? Nekor Max is a Ruby founder and therefore can dance. Oh gosh, what's that? These 50 people behind us is all who still play. Bad Morty, no. They're the only people who came to take the screenshot at the end of the server. Euvenius and Necormax can dance. Many loads of ore were crashed into Alioth with my Zambo chorus. Same. Much.
Deckard is going to hate me for suggesting this, but I think he needs his throne.
Deckard
the
needs his
screenshot.
throne for the screenshot.
He's not gonna like me for saying that, but I'm gonna say it out loud.
Oh gosh.
Please no parky, no parky in the highway zone in front of Cappuccino's. Van Herk, do you want to be part of the screenshot?
I'll move it.
Don't worry. A lot of people are docked onto it.
Oh no, I bug splat.
Ah, Deviant.
Well, that's what's been happening to me. Please, everybody, please move your ships outside of the front where we're taking the screenshot in about 2 minutes' time. Please move your ships. Do not have them there. We love your ships. Don't
come
get
on.
me wrong.
Nyota literally just said how well behaved the community this was.
Proving me wrong every turn. That's what it is.
No. I think Deviant just crashed here.
No, he did not. I know Deviant. He did not. Benefit of the doubt, I give it not.
Valencia, indeed. Happy to be here, Des. I'm happy to have you here. Taylor Butt, hello. Welcome. Coolies. Phoenix, hello.
Still have a couple people are incoming, so give it.
Yeah.
But soon, we about a minute, guys, and we're gonna start taking some screenshots and whatnot.
Nice.
I'm not saying that we haven't already started that, but you know, the official. I said this in game earlier. I'm going to say it right here before things get serious. Can I just let y'all know? Thank you for being part of my universe. Thank you.
And now a part of your universe in my DU.
My other expression, folks might remember it, but this time I'm taking possession of it. Thank you for being part of my universe. I appreciate all of you.
Orbidity.
I've talked to you, to everybody.
Thank you. Sida, Orbidity, Dory, Doro are asking for TP. Damien Firecaster says, we want to thank you, Nyota. We love you. Dominion D says, thanks, Nyota. Zarkata is getting teary. Thanks for making it all possible. To all, says Hagbard. Ryan Pride is crying now. Very cool. Ryan says the start, says Gaming Gothic. Cappuccinos will be the new Starbucks of my DU. Oop.
I made it back in.
Congratulations.
Since I'm in the game too, I feel like I've accomplished something for that. I get bug splatted so many times.
Dazorm, come in the picture, buddy. We're about to take the picture in a minute or so here, I think. Ah, Nyota is up. Did you crash again, Nyota?
I see her moving around.
Oh, good.
I'm here. I'm just trying to get some good shots of my own here to share with you guys.
Taylor, but don't worry, buddy. Camaraderie, thank you for making this what it was. The inspirational levels of creativity and camaraderie. Indeed.
Last
Reggie.
chance, my lovelies. Last chance. If you if you want to be here at the Ark ship with us and you need a teleport, please. Now's the time, and wave your hands really fast, and let us know.
Captain
If you wanna be part of
Harlock. I'm not sure if TPs are still possible, but do say something in game.
They are.
Hold on,
Real
I'll
quick.
be really quick.
Taylor Bud.
I need some names.
Okay, Taylor Bud. From in game there was TP please Dory Doro. Saedow Saedow. Then Dory Dori underscore Doreau.
Hold on, this is a bit too quick. 1 second.
Orbidity.
Sorry, go from the top. I've got Taylor Bud done.
Okay, Taylor Bud's done. Saedow Saew Dow Saedow.
Okay.
Dory Dori underscore Doreau.
Okay.
Walter Walter.
Okay.
Orbidity Orbidity.
Okay.
And Devian's gotten himself stuck. If you want to teleport him, Devian.
He's already had a teleport earlier, and then he brought the ship along. I can do it one more time, but don't mess about, DV.
Okay. Anyone else? Just type in-game general chat. I'll read your name out for Deckard. I think we're good.
Okay.
Last chance. Virtual burn. Just all one word. Virtual burn.
Okay.
I think that's it. All right.
Should be everybody now.
Let's close chat.
Last call. Last call.
All right.
My lovely NQ coworkers. My last request: if anybody can run around and take some cool pictures along with me, and then we'll pull them all together. Maybe we'll add them to the zip file. I don't know. We'll see.
Let me grab Dory again.
Dory is stuck under the pad. Is the picture okay? Is everyone in shot? Do you need us to huddle together anymore, or everything okay?
It'll be fine.
Good. Van Herk, come on over, buddy. All right. So I think it's time for me to turn off my camera, my microphone, so that we can all enjoy the event together, and then I shall come back after. See you all soon. Bye.
Iota?
Yes, sir.
And there we go. One last pending operation for the road. Let me hop back on the Discord call. Nyota, if you can hear me, if you would please drag me back into the channel. Well, what did everyone think? Perfect ending, says Spaceman Spiff. You're amazing. See you all in my DU, says Kestrel.